5 men stand at the bottom of the world, surrounded by nothing but white in every direction. They're exhausted, freezing, and victorious. Stay with me, because the story of how they got here involves a secret mission, 52 sled dogs, and a telegram that changed everything. It's June 1910, and Norwegian explorer Roald Amundsen is preparing for an Arctic expedition to the North Pole. He's borrowed the famous ship Fram, secured funding, and assembled his crew. Everything is ready. Then he hears the news. 2 Americans, Robert Peary and Frederick Cook, both claim they've already reached the North Pole. Amundsen sits alone with his maps. Years of planning, all that funding, all those expectations, and now his goal is gone. But then he looks south. The South Pole, no one has reached it yet, and there's one problem. British explorer Robert Falcon Scott is already planning his own expedition to get there first. If Amundsen wants to beat him, he needs to act fast, and he needs to act secretly. On June 7, 1910, the Fram set sail from Norway. Amundsen's crew thinks they're heading north to the Arctic. They sail for months, through the Atlantic, around Africa, and it's not until they stop at the island of Madeira that Amundsen finally tells them the truth. "Gentlemen," he says, "we're making a slight detour to Antarctica." You can imagine their faces. Here's what makes Amundsen brilliant. While Scott is planning to use motor sledges and Siberian ponies, Amundsen is learning from the Arctic Inuit. He's bringing 97 Greenland sled dogs that know how to survive in extreme cold. He's wearing lightweight animal furs instead of heavy wool. He's thinking like someone who actually lives in ice and snow, not someone who's just visiting. On January 14, 1911, the Fram reached the Bay of Whales in Antarctica. Amundsen sets up his base camp, which he names Framheim, home of Fram. And here's the strategic genius. He's chosen a location 60 miles closer to the South Pole than Scott's base. 60 miles. In Antarctic conditions, that's a massive advantage. For months, Amundsen and his men have prepared. They lay supply depots along their planned route, marking them with flags and cairns. They wait for the Antarctic spring when conditions will be survivable, though just barely. Then, on February 3rd, something unexpected happens. Another ship appears. It's the Terra Nova, Scott's ship. British and Norwegian flags, tense meeting between crews. The crews greet each other politely, even sharing meals. But everyone knows what this means. The race is real, and it's on. October 19th, 1911. Amundsen sets out with 4 carefully chosen companions, Olav Bieland, Helmer Hansen, Sverre Hassel, and Oscar Wisting. They take 4 sledges pulled by 52 dogs. The temperature is brutal, sometimes dropping to -70 degrees Fahrenheit. They travel in stages. Amundsen learned from earlier expeditions that pushing too hard can lead to death. So they go 15 to 20 miles a day. Rest when needed. Take care of the dogs. Stay disciplined. On November 21st, after a treacherous 4-day climb up what Amundsen names the Axel Heiberg Glacier, they reach the polar plateau. They're at 10,000 feet of elevation now. The air is thin. Every breath burns. On December 7th, they passed Ernest Shackleton's previous record for furthest south, 88 degrees 23 minutes. Amundsen writes in his diary, "Now we were further south than any human being had been. No other moment of the whole trip affected me like this." But they're not celebrating yet. Every day they scan the horizon, terrified they'll see something. A flag, a tent, any sign that Scott got here first. December 13th. They camp just 15 miles from the pole. No one sleeps well. Bjelland writes in his diary, "Shall we see the English flag? God have mercy on us. I don't believe it." December 14th, 1911. Around 3 p.m., they reach it. The South Pole, 90 degrees south, the bottom of the world. There's nothing there. no flag, no sign, just endless white in every direction. They've won the race. The 5 men plant the Norwegian flag. For the first and last time during the entire expedition, they smoke. Bjaaland pulls out a silver cigar case and offers cigars all around. They save 3 for the men back at camp. They spend 3 days at the pole, taking measurements, skiing in all directions to make sure they've covered the exact spot. Then they leave a small tent with a letter inside for Scott, asking him to deliver a message to the Norwegian king in case Amundsen's team doesn't make it back. On January 25, 1912, they arrived safely back at Framheim. All 5 men, 11 of the original 52 dogs, covering 1,860 miles in 99 days. Scott's team reached the South Pole on January 17, 1912, more than a month after Amundsen. They find the Norwegian flag and Amundsen's tent waiting for them. On their return journey, exhausted and defeated, all 5 members of Scott's party perish in the brutal conditions. Amundsen's success came down to preparation, adaptation, and respect. He learned from people who knew how to survive in the ice. He chose dogs over machines. He placed his camp strategically. He refused to rush. On March 7, 1912, from Hobart, Australia, Amundsen telegraphs the world, "We have reached the South Pole." The race to the bottom of the world is over, and 5 men from Norway have won it. 5 men, 52 dogs, one impossible goal achieved. Before you go, think about the races in your own family's history, the moments when someone prepared carefully, adapted to new circumstances, and achieved something everyone said was impossible. Maybe your grandfather immigrated with nothing and built a business. Maybe your grandmother was the first in her family to go to college. Maybe your parents moved across the country to give you better opportunities. These aren't just family stories. They're proof of what courage and preparation can accomplish. Have you documented those journeys? Do you know the details of how they prepared, what obstacles they faced, what kept them going when everything seemed impossible? Your children deserve to know these stories. Your grandchildren need to understand that impossible is just a word people use before someone proves them wrong. What was your family's South Pole? What goal did someone achieve against all odds? Please write it down. Record the interview. Preserve the letters. These stories are your inheritance, and they're worth more than any physical possession. If stories of human achievement inspire you, if you love learning how ordinary people did extraordinary things, join the History Sparks community. Subscribe to this channel because every day we uncover another moment when someone refused to give up, adapted to challenges, and changed what was possible. Hit subscribe. Tomorrow, we're exploring another moment when determination rewrote the rules.